What's good, everyone? What's good? This is JTL, opposite from the north, and we back with another one. And once again, I got somebody special on here. You know what I mean? Somebody I consider an ally in this so-called gender war thing we got going on. Got my sister Pink Book Lessons here. What's up? What's good with you? Say what's up to the people.
Hey, how you doing, brother? And everybody that's listening.
All right, so we gonna go over a few things, and I'm definitely gonna touch on some of the things you talked about in a couple of your videos.
Hmm.
So the first thing I'm gonna touch on now, when I start off, this is gonna be a little controversial starting out, but let me get it out so y'all can understand where I'm coming from. All right, so pj Washington and Brittaney Renner. Let me say this. All right, I was just like everybody else going off on the situation. But then I thought about it like, hold on. I came up in a different generation, right?
Hmm.
So when I was coming up, you had people to tell you the truth. It doesn't matter if it was women or if it was men. You heard the bold truth, no punches held, because it was to make you better as you became an adult. So I feel sorry for them. You know what I mean? And what I mean is like putting myself, like empathizing with their situations, put myself in their shoes. If I came up in this generation, ain't no telling I could probably be like PJ. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it like, so messed up. You got the feminist movement, you got wominists and all of this telling Brittany one thing, and then you got PJ hearing from simps, and then you got, like the Boyce Watkins type guys telling him them certain things. So I'm thinking about it like when I was growing up, even if your parents may have not made the best sense, your community around you cared enough to be like, nah, that ain't the way. They watched out for you. Hey, don't go on the street, watch out for those cars. Hey, don't be out here this time of night. You need to go home. It was a community, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And even if like you came up in a single parent home, your neighbors still cared about you. You know what I mean? People in your like teachers in the school cared about you. They didn't just tell you anything that you wanted to hear that made you feel good. Even back then, like further back from my generation, they used to paddle kids in school. So it
Hmm.
definitely was real child rearing going around, besides just in your household or just in your neighborhood, but also in school. So I feel bad for them. Yeah, I feel bad for them because then you look at Brittany, she got, even though I seen videos of her exposed, like just showing her side about to cry and being lonely and all that. The next thing you know, another video comes on. She's sitting up there, yeah, but I gotta do what I gotta do. They can't see me weak. And then you got PJ on the other hand, he making videos. I thought you were better than that. I didn't think you blah blah blah. And it's like, wow, men don't do that. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? So I want to ask you on your side, do you think that you can empathize with them that it's a new day and age where they lie to the women and the men, and then we end up having more broken homes, more single mothers and fathers, and like people end up being alone? You know what I mean? So I want to ask you, do you think you can empathize on that they just getting a lot of bad information nowadays?
Well, first I wanted to comment on the paddling situation. I remember being in kindergarten and the teacher, she used to hit you with a ruler. Like if you got in trouble or
Mm.
you did something wrong, you had to put out your hand and she'll, light your hand up with a ruler. It was
Oh,
funny. I remember that lady. But as far as PJ and Brittany, I don't think you're gonna like my answer.
yeah, go ahead, keep it real.
It's probably gonna sound cold. I don't feel sorry for them because they've seen a lot of stuff happen over the last couple of decades. Even how old is PJ? Like 29?
Nah, PJ is like 22.
Is he? Oh, I didn't know he
Brit,
was that
yeah,
young.
Brittany Renner, she's like 28, 29.
Okay, so he's not in his 30s, so maybe he hadn't seen that. But I still believe he's seen enough,
Mm-hmm.
over the last decade when it comes to a lot of the men, especially in sports, being taken to the cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's just some way that he's seen that, just like I know Brittany. Brittaney, she's seen the superheads. Well,
Mm,
Brittaney is probably close to 30. There's no way Brittaney never heard of superhead. Growing up in what, maybe the late 90s or the early 2000s for Brittaney,
mm,
she's seen that. And it was those women like the Corinne Stephens who motivated people like Brittaney, women like Brittaney, to do what they're doing. It's the basketball wives shows that motivated Brittaney to do what she's doing. The
uh-huh.
Evelyn Lozadas, all those women like that from those shows. Even the ones from those reality shows that never got married to anybody. I can't even think of the popular ones from Basketball Wives. Evelyn is the most popular I could think of. Tammy Roman and all those. But
And Drea.
Drea, like people like that. It's like
Uh-huh.
they watch these shows. Well, I'm talking about Britney's side first. She
Right.
watched these shows like this. She saw the Corinne Stephens. That's how they even know about the finesse game. She's
Mm.
not a victim either in this situation. I would say PJ is more of a victim, but even PJ should know better. I mean, I know someone had to tell him, watch out for these girls.
Mm.
These I'm trying to think of a political word. Oh Lord, trying to be correct, but these women,
Oh, you want to
these,
say that? You can go ahead and say that.
these kind of women, it's not like he never knew about them. He knew about these kind of women.
Mm.
They've been all in the stands at the basketball games. He's been playing basketball for a long time. He knows about this. He's
Mm.
seen it. So the problem is that people, they fall into a trap. People like him, they fall into a trap thinking that they got it under control, thinking that they know what's best. You can have a guy look at Jordan going through a divorce, or look at not Lamelo, Carmelo Anthony or something,
Mm-hmm.
or all of those guys that went through divorce and stuff. You can see them go through that, but they can still look at it and say, "Hey, I'm smarter than them. I don't do that." People can see someone going through a situation, but still think in their minds that they're smarter and that they have it under control. So, they'll look at it, but not really learn from it until they get bopped in the head with the same scenario. And that's the sad part, because you would think that people can learn from other people's mistakes, you know. But it's
I,
not a mistake in Britney's head. She thinks she's doing what she planned on doing.
and she's still miserable. That's the crazy part about it is like, and that's what I mean, because I definitely get what you're saying. But the problem, what I was saying for is empathizing on it, is because when we was coming up, you openly had people that would tell you right from wrong, right? So
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, say with, and trust me, I'm not saying we gonna ease up off their necks like, hey, that is not right. We calling that, we standing on what's right. Not saying that, but what I'm saying is, it makes people like us, it makes our jobs harder because, all right, so look at Brittany and her situation is she definitely knows she's wrong. But the sad part about it is they give them so many keywords and all this and quotes like, oh, I'm telling the truth. I'm living my truth. Or, I'm living my best life. Everybody makes mistakes. Don't worry, girl. You got it. Keep doing your thing. Keep going, sis. Or Thoughts is winning. It's like, or the slut walk with Amber Rose. And it's like people keep boosting these young ladies' heads up to be thoughts, to be promiscuous, to be lonely, be strong, independent, and it's even worse for our community. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
have no real women coming out and say, "Listen, stop being a hoe, close
Mm-hmm.
your legs." Like, look at Ayala Van Zandt, perfect example. She said we are out of order. Do you know how many women I have seen, young sisters? Oh, she dried up. Don't nobody care about her. She ain't what's popping. And everybody just going in on her and just bashing her. I'm like, hold on. This is an elder. I don't agree with a lot of stuff she does or says on her shows that I've seen, but she's still an elder. You know what I'm saying? How do you disrespect that? Like back in the days growing up, man, if you disrespect, your neighbor gonna whoop you. You know what I'm saying? You get home, you gonna get a whooping. Now it's, oh, leave my kids alone. Don't say nothing. So you got that part, and then you got PJ, where as a man, it's not that safe for us to say anything, especially black men. Like they'll tell you this in locker rooms. Oh, watch out, watch out. And that's why I give Mr. Ball his respect
Oh
as a
yeah.
father, because he was like, yo, I tell my sons, you may not find what me and your mother got. So be careful about
Mhm.
how you move out here. He is a rarity. You're not gonna see a lot of men, especially black men, doing that unless you see somebody like I forget the big guy name. And my buddy, he can't stand him, but the one guy he always talking trash about LeBron James and everybody. So if you see black
Charles
people,
Barkley.
no, not, not him, not him, but what's the guy? I can't remember. Jason Whitlock,
Jason
that,
Whitlock. Okay.
that clown. Unless you talking trash and being like the conservative viewpoints, you can't say nothing. So
Mm.
that's what I was saying. I feel bad for them on that note, that even when you do something that we know is morally incorrect, you will still have people that will boost these people's heads up to go out there and keep messing up their lives. And like I said, I'm not saying we ain't gonna tell the truth, we ain't gonna keep our foot on their necks, but what I am saying, I empathize with them because they're coming up in a time where what I mean? Like people are gonna keep tricking them to be, you know what I'm saying, be stupid. Like you
Mhm.
said, you was in school and a teacher smack you on the hand with a ruler. That ain't gonna happen
Mhm.
nowadays. You ain't hear about the
Mm-mm.
one guy that got arrested for putting his hands on a student at a school.
Mm-mm.
Some situation just happened. This guy got into it with a teenager at school, and they took his butt to jail.
Wow. Wow. It is something, especially because teachers, they have such a difficult job these days. Like the teachers, they spend more time with these kids than their own parents. And their
Mm,
parents, they really don't care. I'm not trying to say all parents don't care about their kids. But what I'm trying to say is that you have the teachers who bear most of the responsibility because they're with the kids all the time. And the parents, once they get them from work from school and they get home from work, they really don't want to be bothered with them, to be honest.
mm,
Especially the single parents because they're doing everything by themselves. They and their excuses they don't have time or whatever and they're
mm,
tired. But that's the problem with the broken families as well. The kids are not getting the proper attention that they need. So all they have is a teacher, you know. And sometimes you have good ones, sometimes you have bad ones.